I now invite His Excellency Ken Ofori-Atta, Minister of Finance of Ghana and Chair of the Development Committee, to take the floor.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Her Excellency Maria Fernando Espinosa, President of the 73rd Session of the General Assembly, Ambassador Inga Ronda Kin, President of ECOSOC, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor to be with you here today. I've come here from Washington, D.C., where I attended the spring meetings of the World Bank Group and International Monetary Fund in my capacity as Chair of the Development Committee. I'd like to provide you with an overview of the 99th meeting of the Development Committee, which took place on April 13th. As you know, we welcomed the new World Bank Group President, Mr. David Malpass. Governors wished him much success in his new role and look forward to working with him. Governors noted that the global outlook foresees a moderate slowdown in economic activity while lingering downside risks remain. Global trade growth has weakened, investment prospects have softened, debt vulnerabilities persist, and policy uncertainty weighs on confidence. And therefore, we require renewed urgency to ensure that the 2030 goals are not compromised. They reiterated the important role of international trade, investment as engines of growth, productivity, innovation, job creation, and sustainable development. Governors supported the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund in their multi-pronged approach with borrowers and creditors to improve the recording, monitoring, and reporting of public and private debt, as well as efforts to strengthen creditor coordination in debt restructuring situations, drawing on existing fora. They stress the importance of adapting growth-enhancing policies that create decent jobs while containing risk and protecting the most vulnerable. The Development Committee called on both institutions to work jointly with policymakers to identify the right balance, given country circumstances, between supporting demand and rebuilding fiscal space to help countries improve debt management capacity, sustainability, and transparency, and to strengthen domestic resource mobilization. Governors noted the endorsement of a transformative capital package for IBRD and IFC 1 year ago. This package and the forward look will guide the bank group's strategic direction to 2030. They welcome the significant policy reforms delivered, including IBRD loan pricing and single borrower limit differentiation, the IFC additionality framework, and the IBRD financial sustainability framework, among others. The Development Committee remains committed to the twin goals of ending extreme poverty and boosting shared prosperity, as well as the World Bank Group's global role and the objectives set out in the forward look, which include 1, serving all clients, 2, leading on the global public goods agenda, 3, creating markets, and 4, continually improving the business and operational model. The capital package will enhance the bank's leadership in the key areas of crisis preparedness, prevention and management, situations of fragility, conflict and violence, climate change, gender equality, knowledge and convening, and regional integration. Governors reminded us that the bank's fund for the poorest countries, IDA, is critical to reaching the bank's goals as well as to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. They welcomed the strong delivery of the ambitious and innovative IDA 18 package and supported recently proposed adjustments, particularly the reallocation across IDA windows. Governors called on the bank group to support IDA 19 special themes, jobs and economic transformation, governance and institutions, gender, climate change and fragility, conflict and violence, as well as the cross-cutting areas of debt, disability, human capital, and technology. Governors observe the rising debt levels in either countries and encourage measures to enhance their debt sustainability by finding innovative ways to finance infrastructure. Also looking forward to the outcomes of the upcoming meeting of IDA deputies and their guidance on strategic directions and the IDA 19 roadmap. The Development Committee welcomed the mainstreaming of disruptive and transformative technology in the bank group and its efforts to make these technologies affordable and accessible for developing countries. They encourage the bank to create opportunities for the poor and mitigate risks associated with technology. They also asked the bank group to continue to work with countries as well as private and public sector partners to mainstream this agenda across sectors. They particularly welcome this work on competitiveness, innovation, and consumer protection by supporting agile regulations and called on the bank and the IMF to continue to work on fintech issues, building on the momentum generated by the Bali Fintech Agenda. Governors noted that investments in human capital that produce better learning and health outcomes are critical to productivity and economic well-being. They welcomed the strong start on the Human Capital Project and the fact that close to 60 countries have joined thus far. They requested further development of disaggregated data and refinement of indicators under the Human Capital Index and an emphasis on policy reforms that achieve tangible results. The Development Committee reinforced the key role that the private sector plays in providing sustainable solutions to development challenges, creating markets, mobilizing investments, and generating jobs. They encourage the bank group to foster enabling business environments, leverage capital, and to maximize finance for development. They supported the IFC to catalyze private sector investments and acknowledge IFC and MIGA efforts to increase investments in IDA countries and fragile situations and supported the use of the IDA private sector window to reach the most vulnerable. They also called on the World Bank, IFC, and MIGA to be innovative and work together in mobilizing private sector solutions and resources, leveraging sectorial reforms and mitigating investment risk. Governors recognized that the lack of jobs, fragility, conflict, and violence cause human suffering, vulnerability and displacement, and economic threats, all posing challenges to delivering the 2030 agenda. In addition, they noted that economic crises, natural disasters, and pandemics can test countries' resilience and threaten development gains. Building institutional capacity, developing disaster resilience, and encouraging knowledge sharing and South-South cooperation are key priorities, particularly for small states. They supported strengthening domestic resource mobilization, addressing illicit financial flows and corruption, as well as investing in quality infrastructure and enhancing energy security to improve the response to crisis. As a bank group scales up work in high-risk scenarios where institutional capacity is often weak, strong environmental and social protections and accountability processes will be critical, and the governors supported the World Bank Group's continued commitment in these areas. The governors acknowledged the important role that the World Bank's inspection panel and the IFC and MIGA compliance advisor ombudsman play in accountability, lessons learned, and mitigating risks in an efficient and effective way. The Development Committee urged the bank to continue to work closely with public and private partners, including international financial institutions and the UN, on the most pressing development challenges. They noted that heads of states will gather in September for the UN summit focusing on climate, universal health coverage, SDGs, financing for development, and small island developing states. Finally, the governors underscored the importance of continued World Bank Group and IMF collaboration in implementing their respective mandates, as well as the potential of multilateral development banks working as a system to improve their response to common challenges, including through a coordinated country platform approach. The governors in the bank would like to thank ECOSOC again for the opportunity to share the conclusions of the last Development Committee meeting. More details can, of course, be found in the committee's background papers, which are publicly available. Thank you very much.